If I hadn't have known that Jesus was with me through all those things, like I said, I probably would be in such a bad way. Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maria, and today it's Good Friday today, which is kind of mental. Like, how are we here this fast? Like, we were literally in quarantine a year ago. Oh my gosh, good times, good times. Thank you for clicking on my face, checking out my channel. My socials are linked down below if you want to check them out, and if you enjoy the video or enjoy my videos in general, subscribe down below, leave a comment, leave a like, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So today, talking about Easter. So what brought this on was I was looking back on my IGTV videos, even though I only have 3, it's like I was looking back on them like I have loads. My first one is so cringe because it was like my first ever video, like before YouTube, and I just look at like how much my aesthetic has changed and how much like my editing has changed, as well as like, I don't know, I've definitely changed as a person. It's very weird. I was watching it back and I don't know, I was just feeling nostalgic because that was like the offset of everything. I remember that day very clearly because I really felt God like tell me to say that and to like put that on my Instagram, and then it was from there that I was kind of like, I have a knack for this. So I was like, I might start a YouTube channel, and here we are a year later, which is kind of insane. Like, who would have thought? That's what's nice about YouTube. You can genuinely look back and be like, oh yeah, I remember when I was feeling like that. But it's kind of annoying at the same time because sometimes you change your mind about things and then you look back and you're like, oh, I don't actually agree with that anymore, but it's still out there on the internet. That's not to do with what I'm talking about today though, because this message is relevant all year round. Even though I look back and I cringe at how I delivered it and just everything about that video, I still look at it and I agree 100% with everything I said, because it's just such an important message, and I kind of wanted to rehash it today because I think it's just so important. So you probably know that this Sunday is Easter Sunday, today is Good Friday, it's all popping, it's Easter, and obviously you've heard of Easter. It's Easter eggs all around, and if you didn't get the hint by the Easter eggs, you probably heard about it in primary school or something. I was gonna say you probably did an Easter play, but you probably didn't, because that's not a thing. Christmas plays, yeah. Like, what are you gonna do on an Easter play? Literally like reenact the death of Jesus? I don't think that is very kid friendly. Anyway, Easter, you've heard of it, but obviously you might not know what it's actually about, or you might do actually, because it's quite easy to figure out, and plus you probably have been told, you probably know it's about Jesus dying and rising again. The rising again is the very important part. So you probably know the what, but you might not actually know the why. You might not know why did he die? Like, what was the point in that? What was the point in rising again? Because Christians make a big deal out of it, but it's like, why are they getting so pressed over it? But not pressed, that's not the right word. Like, excited? I don't know, we are pretty excited about it. It's pretty amazing. But you get what I'm saying, like, why are we making such a fuss over it? And the reason is the whole Bible, the whole flipping Bible, it was all pointing to that, like that one event. Like, God knew before he even created us that we would rebel against him, because the temptation of going against God is so great. It's just so easy to fall against God and to go against God and to sin, because sin is just so nice. Like, it's not good for your soul whatsoever, but it feels good in the moment. Like, just think of all the sins, and you probably think of all of them and like, actually like doing a lot of those things, you know what I mean? Like for example, lying. It might feel good in the moment because you're avoiding consequences, aren't you? Like, whoopee, who wants consequences? Like, not me, no thanks. Or like even just having sex outside of God's design, or like watching porn or masturbating, stuff like that. Wow, we're really getting heavy. It feels good. I mean, I wouldn't know, but I've heard. So sin's great, like, we love indulging in it. It's part of our human nature, but the reality is, at the end of the day, Sorry, One Direction are in my head. I'm so obsessed with One Direction, it's such a problem. Like, if any of you heard that, you know what I'm thinking. All I know at the end of the day. But also, I've just realised editing this, Harry saying at the end of the day on multiple occasions is just, oh my gosh, I just can't, it's so funny. But anyway, okay, we're done. At the end of the day, it just divides you from God because He's perfect. He is so perfect. You can't even look at sin. There is nothing wrong with Him, no flaw in Him, no sin in Him. So when we sin, it creates that rift and that divide, which is kind of a bit of a sticky problem because I don't really want to be separated from God. He's pretty good. He's pretty amazing. You know, He's a ledge. Why would we not want to spend eternity with God in heaven, like in paradise? Like, I don't know, you can answer that one for me. But Jesus coming and Jesus dying and Jesus rising again, what that did, when He actually died, He bore the weight of our sin. So essentially, in the Old Testament, what they would do to kind of rectify from like making their sins for sinning, or like to kind of make up for it, they would sacrifice animals. So they would slaughter like lambs and stuff like that. They would kill them and then offer the blood to God as a sacrifice, like as an atonement. In today's culture, it's kind of weird to hear, especially with all like vegetarianism and veganism being so prominent. It's like, why are you killing animals? But all I know is that God said it, and so people did it because, like I said, like why would you want to be separate from God? So they would sacrifice these animals in order to be right with God. But it kind of got to a point where it's like we just kept sinning and we just kept messing up. So God was like, I need to send my son, like I need to come down myself, I need to sort this out. It wasn't like it was a brilliant plan God came up with suddenly. Jesus was planned from the beginning, because from the beginning we've been sinful. Like Eve eating the fruit from the tree, and it's not an apple, by the way. Okay, it might have been an apple maybe, but come on, get a little bit creative. Why are you saying it's an apple? The Bible never said it was an apple, they just said it was a fruit. Okay, it's a fruit, it's a fruit. It could be a banana. I like to imagine that it'd be like a really cool, like wacky fruit. But anyway, she ate the fruit and went directly against what God had said. Like He said, don't eat from that tree. Oh my gosh, she went and did it. She disobeyed Him. That is what sin is. It's missing the target, it's falling short, going directly against what God said, even though we know that He said it. So sin's been here from the beginning. Well, not the beginning, because from the beginning of mankind, God knew from the beginning that we needed a savior, we needed someone to come down for us. So God came down, He sent His son, Jesus, which is God incarnate, and He bore our sin. If you think back to what I was talking about like the Old Testament, when they would use a lamb or like sacrifice an animal, Jesus is the lamb. Jesus is the lamb for us. Jesus is our lamb. Like He took the spot. We deserve to be punished. We deserve to die like Jesus did. But God was so loving that He sent Jesus for us to take our place. He stepped in our shoes and He was like, okay, this is gonna hurt a little bit, but I'm doing it for you because I love you so much. He loves you so much that He endured death. Bro, sometimes I can't even deep it. I'm just like, oh my gosh, He literally was tortured. If any of you have seen The Passion of the Christ, oh my gosh, I cried. It's an 18 because like the flogging in it is so violent, but He was literally whipped and like flogged. Do you know what flogging is? It's like an instrument that's got like tendrils and it's got like pieces of bone and like stones attached to it. Literally hit repeatedly with that. His clothes robbed off Him and traded between other people. Like He was humiliated. People were laughing at Him, and then to top it all off, they created a crown of thorns, put it on His head, like stuck it in His head. Literal thorns. Are you joking me? Thorns in His head. And then He had to hang on a cross, and then they pierced His side to check if He was dead. And gosh, like now I've explained it in gruesome terms, you're probably like, oh my gosh, I didn't realise, but He endured all that, and it wasn't just for nothing. Like it wasn't a bit of fun. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go die. He did it for all of us. He took our spot. That was supposed to be us up there, but God is so loving that He took our place and He gave His life life so we wouldn't have to give up ours. And for a quick minute it really seems like Jesus was defeated and his life was in vain, but he died and rose again. Ultimately, like, the main thing you can get away from it is the simple gospel message. And there's this really good song called Simple Gospel. It's been in my head all day, like I've just been thinking about the lyrics, you know. So it says, I delight in the simple gospel, because the simple gospel is you are loved so much and so vastly and so deeply that Jesus came down to die for you in your place so that you might have eternal life and so you might be united with God and be with him forever. But obviously the key thing is accepting that, and that is the first step to freedom, is like accepting that as truth and accepting that sacrifice on your behalf. You don't have to live in sin anymore. You don't have to live in these endless sorrows. You don't have to live in darkness. You can know freedom, you can know joy, you can know truth, you can know peace that is unlike anything you've ever experienced. Like, gosh, like, I don't know where I'd be without Jesus. Like, I think I'd honestly be depressed and probably suicidal even. I know that's like really extreme and that can be distressing, but I think of like some of my worst days, and they've been bad days, but Jesus has been with me through that, like all through that, and I have known that, and that has brought me through them. If I hadn't have known that Jesus was with me through all those things, I just don't know where I'd be, and like I said, I probably would be in such a bad way. So yeah, it's so exciting knowing Jesus, and that's why I wanted to share this, because I think it's so important to get it out there, even if it's just one person. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I upload every single Friday, so make sure you check back then. Beautiful people, peace out.